Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of knowledge sharing. Before we continue, I'd like us to like and follow our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, comments and share our video for more interesting topics. Today we are looking at this question and it says 4 raised to the power of x equals to 1 all over x, and we are asked to find the value of x. So in this case, we have a solution. Divide our both into 2. We are given 4 raised to the power of x equals to 1 all over x. In this case, we can see that 4 raised to the power of x is an increasing value while 1 all over x is decreasing. So here, if we want to plot a graph for us to find the solution of this problem, it's going to be, this one is going to be decreasing and this one here is going to be decreasing. While this one increasing, this one will decrease. So at this point, they will meet at a point of intersection. That will be the solution of that graph. And so doing, we also see that when it has an x-axis and this graph is going to decrease, and always it will meet at a point x. That's find the solution of that graph. But here, we are not going to use graph to solve this problem. We are going to use a special function called Lambert W function. So this is the function that we are going to use to solve this problem. But before we go into that, we are going to see how we can break this one down. So we have 4 raised to the power of x equals to 1 all over x. So in this case, we are going to multiply both sides by x. So we say multiply both sides by x. So here will become x times 4 raised to the power of x equals to 1 all over x times x. So x will cancel here 1, so x will cancel here 1. So we are now left with x times 4 raised to the power of x equals to 1. So this is what we've got now. Let's transfer to this other side. We have x times 4 raised to the power of x equals to 1. So this is the place that we are going to use the Lambert W function. So what we are going to do, the Lambert W function is a function if we have, let's say, f of x is equals to x e raised to the power of x. So for us to find the value of x here, is going to be w of x equals to inverse of f of x. So this is what we've got from using a Lambert W function. So this means that here we have inverse of f into f of x equals to inverse of, we have x e raised to the power of x. So in this case, this will cancel this and we are now left with x equals to inverse of f into x e to the power of x. Therefore, we define inverse of f as Lambert W x function. So in this case, we have w x e to the power of x equals to x. This is the Lambert W function, which is w into x e of x equals to x. So we've seen that Lambert W function is when we have the input as x e to the power of x, the output will be, so the output will be x in this case. So we have the output as x. When we have the input as x e to the power of x, the output will always be x. So in this case, another illustration is if we have Lambert function of, let's say, a e to the power of a, the answer, the output will always be a. And also when we have Lambert W function of, let's say, infinity e to the power of infinity, the answer will always be infinity. So anything that we have inside here, another one, when we have Lambert W function of a bottle of Coke e to the power of a bottle of Coke, the answer will always be a bottle of Coke. So this is what Lambert W function is all about. Going forward, we are going to use this Lambert W function to solve some of our problems in exponential equation. So we need to clean this to continue our equation. So as we were given 4 raised to the power of x equals to 1 all over x, when we multiply both sides by x, we had x times 4 raised to the power of x equals to 1. So this is where we are now. So what we are going to do now is to introduce a log into this exponential equation. So we are going to have x times into e to the power of in 4 raised to the power of x equals to 1. So in this case, x can come into the front of the in, and we have x times e to the power of x in 4 equals to 1. So this is what we have now. So what we are going to do now is to introduce a Lambert W function. But before we do that, we need to multiply both sides by in 4. So we say multiply both sides by in 4. So here will become x times in 4 times e to the power of x in 4 So we have this equals to 1 times in 4. So here is the same thing as x times into in 4 ex in 4 equals to 1 times in 4 is in 4. So here we can introduce a Lambert W function into this equation, the left hand side and the right hand side. So we are going to have W into x in 4 e to the power of x in 4 equals to W in 4. So we are going to move over to this other side. To move over to this other side, let's clean this. So as we said, we have W into x in 4 e to the power of x in 4 equals to W into in 4. And we recall, we mentioned that when we have Lambert Wx function into a e to the power of a is the same thing as a. So in this case, we can see that we have x in 4 and x in 4. So the Lambert Wx function of this is equal to, by using this expression to substitute here for us to have this, as we say that when we have a here, e to the power of a here gives us a. So in this case, we have x in 4 here to the power of x in 4 here will give us x in 4 equals to W in 4. So in this case, what we are going to do is to divide all through by in 4. So we say divide all through by in 4. So here will be x in 4 all over in 4 equals to W into in 4 all over in 4. So this will cancel here, and we are now left with x equals to W into in 4 all over in 4. So here we can plot this into our calculator. When we plot this into our calculator, what we are going to have is x equals to W log. It's same thing as log 4 all over log 4. You can bring it up. So for us to bring this, I will say we plug into a calculator. We have x equals to W log 4 all over log 4. In this case, when we have this, this will give us as x equals to 1 all over 2. So now we've been able to solve that. We have x equals to 1 all over 2 by using a special function, Lambert W function. So here, let's see a little check to see whether x equals to 1 all over 4 satisfy this equation. So we have check. So we have 4 raised to the power of x equals to 1 all over x. So when we substitute 1 all over 2 into where we have x, we have 4 raised to the power of 1 all over 2 equals to 1 all over 1 all over 2. So this is equals to, this is the same thing as when we have square root of 4 equals to 1 divided by 1 all over 2. This side will be, gives you 1 times 2 all over 1, because this one will go up and this one will come down. So here will be 2 and this side will be 1 times 2 all over 1 equals to 2. So here we have the left hand side and the right hand side equals to 2, and it satisfies this equation by using a special function, Lambert W function, to solve the answer of x. So if you like what we are doing here, follow us on our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, comments, and share our video for more interesting topics. Thank you.